I want to drill this into your head. Effort beats perfection every single time. So hi everyone, my name is Stacey Pierre. I am a current student at Florida International University in Miami Ave School. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how effort beats perfection every single time. So I know what you're thinking when I say effort beats perfection. You're like, no, I still want to be perfect. I still want certain things to look a certain way. I want my videos to be edited perfect. I want my photos to be aligned. I want my essays to be written like my idols. But let me tell you something. All those people that you admire, all of the people that have done amazing things in their craft, in their field, whether you're thinking about people like Serena Williams or people like Beyonce, or even people that are local to you, like your mom or your dad or a local business owner, they all have to start somewhere. And granted, some people have advantages. We all have our unfair advantages. But at the end of the day, effort beats perfection. Because if they never started, they would never have gotten to where they are now. And like Alex Harmozy says, first you do more, then you get better, and then you start getting creative. But you can't get to the creative part if you're not doing more. So I'll just give you an example. Take me, for example. I have been wanting to do content creation for some time, but there's been so many things where I felt like I didn't have. So, for example, I'm not the best speaker. I'm not the most eloquent person. I am not the person that can talk for hours about a subject, right? But what I am is interested and passionate about communication, which is why I'm in advertising school right now. So instead of saying to myself, you don't have all these things, think I started to think to myself, what do you have that you can utilize to achieve your dreams and go after what you want? And what I do have is a passion for learning. I have a passion for communication, and I also have an interest in building community. Those are three things that I have: education, learning, and community. So I had to take those things and utilize them and just start creating content, because if I never started creating content, then you guys would never connect with me, never hear from me, never really understand like my story and how you can learn from it. So in this video, I'm also going to talk to you guys about 3 ways that you can start putting in effort for the things that you are doing so that you don't have to keep sitting on the sidelines. So the number one thing you can do to start pursuing your goals and not so the number one thing you can do to start pursuing your goals and not stopping yourself from putting in effort is by stopping the comparison game. The comparison game is a nasty, soul crushing experience that a lot of us go through because we like to judge our day one to somebody's day 100. I know you have heard that before. And unfortunately, when we judge our day one versus someone's day 100, we find that we are not able to measure up to them. Because of course not, we haven't put enough reps, we haven't put enough effort, we haven't done the thing enough to even be as good as them. And even if we're still as good as them, they still have more things that they have put out. So more people can watch them, more people can see their work. They've been out longer. Time is something that you can't necessarily make up. So one way that you can put in effort and not sabotage yourself is by stopping the comparison game. So the next time you go to compare yourself to somebody else, ask yourself, is this serving me? Am I doing better by comparing myself to somebody else? Or is this hindering me? Is this causing you harm? Is this making your dreams seem farther out than closer to you? And if it's the latter, just stop. And you can stop by when a thought comes in your mind, just literally stop it in its tracks. Because although you can't control the thoughts that come in your mind, you can control your second thought. And by controlling your second thought, that'll help you be able to not really ruminate on the negativity as much as you typically do. So that's number one. Stop the comparison game. Number two is to learn from your mistakes. And by learning from your mistakes, you have to actually put the content out, or you have to actually put your work out. Especially as a creative, we can get so caught up in how things look and how we want things to appear that we don't even put the work out. And that is very harmful to ourselves, because if we don't put the work out, there's nothing to edit, there's nothing to improve, there's nothing to trim down or cut or manipulate, because you didn't actually put in the work. So, learning from your mistakes is another way that you can stop the self sabotage and start putting in effort. Because if you go into it with the mindset that you are going to make mistakes, that you are going to go through certain things, and things aren't going to appear or happen the way that you want it to happen, then that's another way that you can mentally prepare yourself to understand that, hey, things aren't going to be as I want them to be just yet. Mistakes are inevitable. So if you go into it with the mindset that you're going to make mistakes, it puts less pressure on you, right? Because you're not aiming for perfection, you're just aiming to get it done. And I think that's the most important part in the beginning, and that's something that I'm internalizing as I pursue this content creation journey, as I pursue advertising school, as I pursue public speaking and speaking eloquently, and laying out my thoughts in an eloquent and clear manner. And another thing you can do to put in more effort and not and another thing you can do to put in more effort and not And another thing you can do to put in more effort and focus on the effort rather than the perfection is just to fall in love with the journey. Because ultimately, the journey is the destination. And I know that sounds a little convoluted because you're just like, aren't I trying to go from point A to point B? But no, you're not. Because the person you become from point A to point B is more important than the point B itself. And to illustrate this, I just want to show you an example of someone gardening, for example. Someone's gardening and they put a seed into the ground. And granted, they want the crop, right? They want the vegetable, they want the flower, they want the corn, the potato, whatever they planted. But the seed doesn't just become the crop or the produce that you just put into the ground. It has to go through an entire process of growth and generation and just growing from this little seedling to like a big crop or corn or potato or lettuce or anything like that. So, one thing that I find really interesting is that we all value the end result, the crop, the corn, or whatever. I keep saying corn, but you guys get what I'm saying. We all value the end result when the most important part was what the seed became during the process. The seed totally transformed into something that could produce corn, something that could produce potatoes, something that could produce lettuce. And that is what is really important ultimately for you and I. It's not the person that we end up being, it's the person that we become along the way that is ultimately the most important thing. So, in conclusion, in conclusion, don't wait until you're perfect. Just start putting in effort now. And once you put in that effort, you'll start to realize that all your dreams were closer than you could have imagined. It all just required that you believed in yourself, put in effort, put in those reps so that you can improve, you can get better, and you can fall in love with the person you become along the way. So thank you so much for watching my channel. I know this video was a little shorter than my other videos, and by my other videos I mean my two videos that I have, my two full-length videos that I have on my channel. But next week I'm going to be coming at you with longer videos. They're going to be edited, more research, but just like you, I am just following my path and I am falling in love with the journey. I'm not comparing myself, and I'm also learning from my mistakes. So feel free to drop in the comment below how you plan on putting in more effort this year and not focusing solely on perfection. Later.